I'm always finding when people are buying real estate, whether they're buying it for themselves to live in or whether they're buying it for an investment property, they're faced with some form of compromise. And we've kind of thought about this a lot, and usually it's one of four things. So we've come up with what's called the Buyers Decision Quadrant. And it's really for you to find out in advance which area you're most likely to compromise on when the rubber meets the road. And so the four parts of the quadrant are very, very simple. It's either price, location, land proportion, or quality of the dwelling. So let's have a look at that. Most people really aren't that blessed in this country to have unlimited budgets. It's usually the first thing that people put down before they decide where they want to live. So in terms of compromising on price, that really isn't much of an option for most people. Now, my show is called Location Australia, and the second one being location is usually, in my opinion, people will choose location before they choose house. So you can start to see a bit of a pattern. They're not really able to compromise on the price. And in terms of location, most people are very unwilling to compromise on location. So it kind of leaves one of two things left: proportion of the land or the quality of the dwelling. So if they want a house, it means they might have to get a renovator. Or if they want something that's shiny and brand new and it's really easy to live in and nothing needs to be done, well, they might have to compromise on the proportion of land, meaning instead of buying a house, they might actually have to buy a townhouse. Or if they actually were looking for a townhouse and realised their budget couldn't allow them to do that and they're not prepared to budge on the location or the price or having it shiny, it might just mean that they need to go and buy an apartment. And so, irrespective of whether you're buying for yourself to live in or whether or not you're buying it for an investment property, you are going to be faced with the Buyer's Decision Quadrant. And the best thing that you can do in advance, if you're buying on your own or you're buying with someone else, is to have a conversation around these four things. Because if you are forewarned and forearmed on what you're most likely to compromise, it means when you're in the field looking at property, when the adrenaline's running and the agents are talking to you about certain tactics and you've got to be quick and you've got to move fast, at least you've already thought in advance which areas you're most likely to compromise on. Because if you see something that represents great value and stacks up most of your wish list, it means you can move very, very quickly. So the Buyer's Decision Quadrant is something you need to become very familiar with: price, location, proportion of land, or quality of dwelling.